Cincinnati Bengals are grateful for beating some fried Raven this Thanksgiving. We'll talk about this coming up next on the Cincinnati podcast.
Coming up
On the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello world, Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.
Welcome to a special Black Friday live episode of the Cincinnati Bengals podcast. I'm Ace. He is Zim. We are here to give you guys our takes for the recap of the Bengals Thanksgiving victory over the Baltimore Ravens. Bengals end up beating the Ravens 32 to what? 14? 14? Yeah, 32 to 14. BTA. Bengals put in the work. It was in the M&T retirement home. It was more like a library last night. But Zim, how you doing, brother? How was Thanksgiving?
It was great. That was one of my best Thanksgivings of all time. Thanksgiving might be my new favorite holiday. Now that you get older and stuff like that, it ain't, like I definitely enjoy like giving out gifts and like making sure that everybody's like happy and stuff. And that's really cool too. But something cool about sitting around just eating a whole bunch of food, talking ball, and watching your favorite team just cook up on Dirty Birds, like is real exciting. I like it. I like Thanksgiving. I'm very thankful that I'm here. I don't like the 4-8 record, but I do think that the momentum and the Joe Burrow conversation is a real conversation. And I walked away after I cooked up a lot of people, and I'm gonna still go because we got extra days. So follow us on Twitter. Cincinnati Pod. We're gonna cook up receipts over there. Follow New Stripe City on Twitter. Make sure you follow me also, Zim Uday on Twitter. I'm gonna cook them up because they talk crazy to us like they're a dynasty all day. But they won 3 playoff games in like a decade, and they tell us about what they did 15 years ago, but then they tell our fans that we can't talk about what we did 2 years ago. AFC Championship game was January 2023. I know our fans are like, oh, yeah. And then they got all these little lying stuff that they put out there about like, oh, Joe Burrow, ain't this the 3rd year you missed about? Technically, let's just be clear, Joe Burrow's only missed the playoffs 1 time in his entire career. I hate when our fans stop saying that. Mm-hmm. He wasn't there in 2020. He wasn't there in 2023, and now 2024 was the only year that he played, and then he didn't make the playoffs. All them other years that did not count. This year, right now, we're in jeopardy of not making it. Very, very close. We're hanging on by a thread, but bro, these people are the Ravens fans are the most delusional fans in the history of football, and so anytime that you get a chance to pack them up, it's always a great day. That was an awesome Thanksgiving.
Oh, it was definitely an awesome Thanksgiving, bro. And I mean, we talked about this return for Joe Burrow coming back to the stadium where the last time he was there, it was Joe Burrow. It was injury. It was an injury, and he left the game early. They still are going to count that. What is they try to lie sometimes and say they try to make it a Lamar versus the Bengals thing to add the Andy Dalton and the Jeff Driscoll wins and stuff in there.
Putting Nick Vigil in a spin cycle. Like people come on, bro. We was tanking at the time.
We were tanking at the time. It's now officially, I think, 4-6. So like it's not some crazy thing.
5-6, partner. 5-6.
5-6. Yeah, it's not some crazy thing that they try to make it from that standpoint. But yeah, it was a great Thanksgiving, man. I definitely was able to be around the fam and watch the Bengals do their thing. Definitely last night, being surrounded by other fellow members of Who They Nation here in Atlanta was definitely a dope thing. My sister, my big sis, we always watch Bengals games together, so it was very nostalgic. You know what I mean? For us, when we pulled up yesterday, I had on the Bengals joint. The black-owned joint, she had on the Bengals thing. So, like, we already knew what time. They was like, did y'all plan this? I said, no, it's Who They. You already know what time it is. So, having this loyal fan base, that's what separates us, I think, from a lot of people because we've had our share of letdowns, but it's always been worth it because of times like last night where the Bengals are able to show up, show out, and do their thing. Let's get into it. I guess where did you want to start with the game first? Because this was a great game to back break down essentially.
It was a lot, bro. It's so many things that are, let's just start at the beginning of the game. Coming out in the game, I had even told our partner G Will, I said, man, I think we should take the ball first. I want to give Joe Burrow more opportunities to get reps. I want him, like, I know it's a little different. You're on the road. I was like, if you're down, you're down. Your defense is gonna have to make a stop at some point. Like, balls to the wall, take the ball first, come out there, get the reps, see where you're at or whatever. And I thought, like, at the very beginning, seeing him not scramble and run, but move out of the pocket and extend the pocket and extend plays, I was very surprised at like how mobile he was early on. What were you thinking initially, or what were you thinking at that point?
The exact same, bro, because what we heard from a doctor, quote unquote, standpoint was, oh, he's not going to be able to move. So like when he's running out and extending plays and throwing it and trying to run for first downs, I'm like, oh, nah, Joe can move. This is different. This is looking like the real 9 from that standpoint. So when I saw him taking off and running, I was just like, I was taken back. Like, bro's rehab process has been crazy. He's probably much closer to 100% than people realize. So when I saw him taking off, bro, I'm like, that's 9. That's 9. Like, that's the 9. Like, now you're telling me he's not just confined to, the pocket. And I think that also said something to the Ravens defense, where you obviously saw that their plan throughout the night was to just blitz him because they thought that he would just be a statue in the pocket. And it's like, oh no, he's able to move. We're seeing the 9 moves where he's juking defensive tackles out of their socks, making a move to the right, slinging it to Jamar. Like, it was 9, bro. That's all I saw when I seen that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was. I thought very, very at the very beginning, man, it's a lot. All right. Let me get my thoughts together. At the very beginning, I just was like, okay, let's establish the run. They weren't doing that as much, so I was a little disappointed that they were throwing so much. But the one thing that I will say is a lot like the Lamar playoff games that I watched with the Chiefs. You remember my favorites the rant that they talk about on Spaces, right?
Yeah.
Was really good. What my delivery, I know, is all for a lot of people. They're like, I hate him. He yells and stuff like that. I'll turn up at certain times, but I said it in that rant it was a little bit, I didn't plan it, but I said it because I wanted people to understand the blueprint. In that rant, I'm talking about keeping him off the field and extending long drives. And so a lot of their fan base, remember John Harbaugh at halftime, I'm skipping that a little bit ahead of myself. John Harbaugh at halftime, I said, what do you need to change? He said, we got to get back to what we do and run the football. Their fan base is used to just running the football and having a lead. They're very rarely without a lead. In the 2023 season, I think they only didn't have a lead one time, and that was in the Rams game. He came back and went. So imagine going a whole season like that. You're used to running the football. They walk out remember at halftime, Derrick Henry only had like 5 carries. But a lot of people, if you're just looking at a box score, I thought Chase Brown should have got more carries, right? Because it's Burrow's first game back. But what's the one thing as a Bengal fan we've been saying when Burrow first got here is put the ball in Joe's hands. So I thought you had to do that in order to win a game of this magnitude. The second thing was he was extending the drives, and then it gave him more attempts. So because the drives were so long, it made it so that now naturally instead of 12 attempts, now you're going to have 20 because you gain extra possessions and first downs. He was converting. And
right.
So and then couple that with the turnovers. So now they're giving you the ball extra amount of times, like the time of possession, I know at the end of the game. But in the first half, it was staggering how much we had it. They didn't have the ball at all. And I think that's a part, like if you're going to, because I saw somebody make this content that I didn't really like, but they were talking about like how could you make Joe, like whatever. They kept on giving us the ball like all those times. And then when you're extending drives like that, the one thing I would have hated is to bail them out thinking you could run in between the tackles and say you get stuffed on first and second or something, and now you're like in these tough third down situations. I would have hated that on the road. I thought that they were like, let's just take whatever yards you can get, and then we'll extend the drives. And those drives killed them, and it took them all the way out of their game plan. And literally, we're going to talk about their defensive formula on how to beat the Ravens because we were talking about that earlier today. But that alone was a reason why I think from a game plan standpoint, it's not in a box score, but that is a very calculated reason on why he threw so much. It's a myriad of things where you're getting all these extra possessions, but then you're putting the ball in your best person's hands to say, I'm extending the drive. He said he feels good. There's no problem with the toe. Let's just, get these, these little passes out the way. And I thought they did a really good job of doing that. Even though in the first half, I didn't like it as how many times they were passing. But now rewatching this morning, I'm like, oh, I get it now. They were awarded an extra 2 possessions. So instead of 20-something attempts, which would have still been high, he had 32, which is super high. 32 attempts. The one thing that pissed me off, though, was the red zone offense in the first half of this game before we even get to the defense. The drive where they got the Mar fumble, and then they get the ball back, and we got the ball at like the 4, and we throw on first, run on second, throw on third, throw on fourth. Looking back at that throw, Gesicki had a chance to catch it. What were you thinking about that early on, and what was your impression of like the offense? And
I mean, I have a pretty infamous tweet about my feelings during that time. I won't repeat it here. They might strike the channel, but it was in reference to Zach Taylor's decision making. I was upset, man. I'm not gonna lie, because whole time I'm thinking football is about momentum. And I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law earlier. Like, they do have all of these analytics, and he came to me and was like, man, why do these teams just go for it on fourth down all of the time? Sometimes they need to take the points and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. In certain instances, you do got to take the points, because if you don't do that, it's a momentum builder for the defense. I'm like, I believe in momentum. A lot of people don't. But when you get goal line stands, when you force issues and things that happen, that builds momentum. And so the Bengals built the momentum off of the defense getting that fumble recovery at the 3-yard line. So immediately in my head, I'm thinking, run the ball. That's the first thing that I'm thinking. You're on the 3-yard line. Do what you can to take advantage of this opportunity that this defense gave you. And for them to come out and immediately go empty, more so empty says to anybody, there is a 0% chance that you're running the ball at empty. It's not even from a strategy standpoint. You're letting the defense know, I am not running the ball. So this gives the defense so many options and adjustments that are in their favor to effectively stop you in that position. They don't have to cover Jamar Chase for 30 to 40 yards. They only have to be in front of Jamar Chase at the line of scrimmage and be in a zone where he can be at. So the advantage is for the defense. So when I saw that, I'm like, bro, what are we doing? To only run the ball one time in that scenario in 4 plays was just malpractice. To come away with no points, and we get on the defense, and I've been critical of the defense, but when the defense makes a play like that, you have to cash in on those opportunities. And luckily in this game, it didn't come back to hurt them. But in a situation over these next 5 weeks where you need to win every single game, you have to cash those in for turnovers, because the NFL is about momentum. We also talked about, and I know we'll get to that later, but obviously there's a fumble later in the game that could have swung momentum into making this more of a nervous game or more of a tighter game than expected. So when those plays happen and you have the momentum, you have to continue to wield it, because if another team is able to get it, similar to the Patriots when they got that momentum change in play with the pick 6 versus Flacco, things can change out of your favor as well. So I was upset about it, because I was like, bro, in that scenario, we at least have to run the ball more than one time. Like, it's one thing if you tried to run it twice and you don't get it, that's more acceptable. But to make it easier for the defense to guard against that offense and your strategy, I just was very upset with. And I wanted them overall in those moments, to come away with more points because the defense was playing amazing. The defense was setting them up. The defense was making stops. And at that time in the first half, we weren't playing complementary football. So that was my big takeaway is we just got to be better with complementary football in those situations and not make it rocket science. Like sometimes you just got to do the obvious thing, which is try to run it in.
Randall Johnson 7123 appreciate you, sends in a super chat. He says jungle love to the nation, the 9 signal overshadowing be more Cincinnati. I'm sorry, but Josh Allen and Lamar get in line behind JB9. It felt like Batman Returns and overthrows Bane last night. Victory felt like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that analogy. I love that analogy. There's another one too from Dustin Croft. He said nobody is talking about the travel issues we had to overcome from last night. Got in late.
That is a great point. That is
also
a great.
Windy.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Also windy, but Money Mac 66. Go ahead, Zim.
Yeah, bro. I a lot of people now I've been focusing on, not even focusing on, but I've just been seeing a lot of people talking about the injury, I guess, or they now Lamar is hurt or whatever. I don't know. He looked like he was running all over the place yesterday, just wasn't doing anything. But people are talking about that. But that is a big point because if you guys didn't notice, their plane was delayed and they ended up getting in about 5.5 hours later than what they were supposed to. So not even like a full rest. They arrive about 12:20 a.m. in Baltimore, and then they get ready for a game. Luckily, they had the night game. But getting out of there daily, what they were supposed to be doing, and going into that, I just thought that could affect them, but it didn't. You were talking about the defense just now. I wanted to just go right back on over that. In the first half of this game, the pressure of Osai and Murphy, I was watching it and I was like, yeah, Lamar doesn't look comfortable. And the one thing that I thought that they did really bad in the Jets game when they were getting pressure is that they were so undisciplined with their rushes. In this game, there were 2 times I thought they got a little bit out of their rush lanes, but outside of that, I thought they did a really good job. And Osai talked about this after the game. They communicated and they rushed collectively. And when you're doing so, when you see that your partner takes a beeline and takes this angle, then you now have to swoop around and back up. And now you know how we do in basketball. If you trap right here, my guys, we got to back up right here because if they break trap, we got to be right there for them. And so to me, it reminded me of that. And they were very disciplined with their rushes. And I thought that was the difference between the Jets game and the Bears game. Caleb Williams makes a lot of crazy, weird plays, and he gets out of a lot of stuff more than people give him credit for. But I thought that they were awful in their rushes in that game. And this one, to me, it was very much coordinated, and I liked it so much better. And I thought that the Osai play, Osai is a guy instantly, as soon as it happens, of course, the pessimist was like, no way we're going to be able to pay him. There's a real good argument. He's a David Mulligetta guy. You probably won't, right? But while he's here, all I kept on thinking about is if I can win me a couple games and then Shamar and Trey Hendrickson come back, now I'm pairing that. Like Shamar is like a 4th, 5th rusher. You know what I mean? And I got Osai playing like that. I was like, bro, if we can win out, I'm dangerous.
Nah, for sure. I think I'm looking at the PFF scores right now of the Bengals defense because I do want to make sure that we give them the credit that they deserve. Geno Stone was the highest rated starter on the Bengals defense with an 86.9 grade, 89.5 in run defense, 87.9 tackling grade, 72.4 coverage grade. McKinley Jackson comes in next with the 81 overall PFF grade. DJ Turner 74, Joseph Osai 74. Jalen Davis, BJ Hill, Miles Murphy. The thing that stood out for me, I don't know why they don't have they're not giving Joseph Osai credit for 2 sacks last night because I'm pretty sure when you look at the regular box score, he has that. Joseph Osai was a menace last night, but the thing that you said was you saw this Bengals defensive line generating pressure. But you also saw, I got to give some credit to Al Golden because I've cooked Al Golden plenty of times on here. But
Is that Al Golden's best game as a Bengal?
Yes, for sure. He decided to use the zero blitz. This was something that Lou Anarumo implemented, several years ago against Lamar Jackson that worked. People like Brian Flores have taken it and used it. To see him at first start with, okay, we're going to rush 4 and try to see if they can get home, and then started going to that zero blitz. You talk about him implementing a guy like Jalen Davis to come in, run these blitzes. You talk about Myles Murphy. Like, that was one of my favorite plays of the game, because when Myles Murphy was younger, I remember him doing this, and Lamar went out to the right, and he saw Myles Murphy there, and he was like surprised, like, who is this dude that they have? So for him to have the joint where he's able to get out there and capture Lamar in the open field. And then there was another one where he's like hawking somebody down. I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but Myles Murphy.
Derrick Henry. It was
Derrick Henry. And
shout out to Max. Max immediately posted his Madden speed and said, bro, we got to get that speed up on that.
Turn it up. We got to turn it up. But the defense, man, I mean, we've talked about DJ Turner. You had a great tweet before the game, all-pro DJ Turner fit. I mean, did Zay Flowers play last night? Did
Zay Flowers
play?
Zay Flowers, let me just paint this for y'all. Zay Flowers is the Ravens' #1 wide receiver, right? He's top 10 in yards or whatever. So, like, imagine this. Imagine you get 7 targets, 5 yards from like Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. We would be losing it right now. Bro was in hell. He was in hell. This dude, he deactivated his Instagram, all of that. DJ Turner confiscated all of his belongings and sent this boy to below the jail. This man had this man locked up on some Akon stuff last night, bro. It was very beautiful to watch. And I saw a bunch of Bengals people saying, you were just talking to me about hiring my standards, and you got to hire your standards. Stop this Pro Bowl talk for DJ Turner. All pro. All pro DJ Turner. Not just no Pro Bowl, all pro. The people, this is the one thing I'm going to say too. As Bengal fans, if you got a group chat or if you got a Twitter or whatever, and you loud about, oh, this defense sucks, and all you do is trash the Bengals all day, you need to be loud as hell about the Bengals actually doing something defensively and doing it well, because the last 3 weeks, if you include last night, they've been really good for the most part. Not
they have ever since the bye week. They
cleaned up some stuff. Last night, I thought that DJ Turner, I could see him in my peripheral. He had the one where he was kind of beat, his back was turned to him, got his hand in there, bow, punish little Zay. Everything that we were talking about, Zay Flowers and Wiggins and all these guys like that coming into the league, I'm like, that them dude's kind of small. He punished him, bro. He put him on his back, and I don't think Zay really recovered from that rep. If y'all go watch that rep, I don't think he really recovered it. And I think I'm going to tell you another person that's not getting no love, and I have not seen it. Jordan Battle, I know he doesn't play with good technique when he goes to hit, but if you were at the stadium, if you're listening on TV, you hear them joints. Them hits that Battle be putting on people are louder than anything else that was on the field last night. I thought you would get that from Roquan. I ain't even see Roquan unless it was Yoshi cooking him in the scene.
Yeah, did Roquan play last night? Hold on.
Bro, I had to ask. I had to be like, bro, like, is he out? Like, I didn't see him. I didn't see him in run support doing anything. That's where I thought he might show up. I saw Trenton Simpson running around more than Roquan. I really don't. The only time I remember Roquan was him trying to chase Yoshi in the scene. Yeah, little Roro. Yeah, Jerry, you know about Roro.
Yeah, man. Barrett Carter made a play last night. Like, bro, it was
Barrett Carter gonna be straight. He's still taking bad angles, but he's gonna be straight. He's gonna be straight.
They did what they needed to do, and I think like what Joe Burrow kind of asked of them, and I've said this, and I've said this several times, and it's gotten me burned as well. But when I've said that the Bengals defense has been good, when they are getting turnovers, they are that top 20 defense. It's just when they're getting them. When they don't get them, that's when you see like the really bad portions, the missed tackles, and the big plays that they allow. But you kind of forget those, and it doesn't seem as bad when they get those turnovers. Now, look, they got 5. It had been a while since the last game in the Patriots game. It seemed like they kind of went on a drought of getting any kind of turnovers. So I guess this is just the universe balancing back out and getting them a bunch of turnovers, because this seemed like a team that I kind of compared to the 2005 defense that was just had a knack for causing turnovers, and they hit that low and it happened. But now when you see them able to get these turnovers, it's like, man, if they can do that, get the ball back to the offense, and the offense can convert, this Bengals chance has a team. You talk about Dax. He did finish that touchdown drive. He negated that from that point of view as well. But the way that this Bengals defense played, I was very impressed. I didn't see Baltimore. Like, Derrick Henry had 60 yards, guys. That was it. He had 60 yards on the ground. That was it. Lamar had 27 on the ground. That was it. Keaton Mitchell, for all we talk about Keaton Mitchell, yes, he had a touchdown. He had 19 rushing yards. Like, the Bengals held a top rushing attack to, once again, basically under 100 yards from that perspective. So you were going to say something, Zim?
The Derrick Henry conversation, this is why the box score can be a little dangerous. The Derrick Henry conversation goes hand in hand with the Joe Burrow conversation I was talking about earlier. If you're looking at a box score, you'll say, and the eye test will tell you, like, bro, I think we could get a couple more Chase Brown runs in there, right? Especially in the red zone, right?
Yeah.
But there is something to be said from the 20 to the 20 about extending those drives, ball in hand of Joe Burrow. I'm not a big fan of him dropping back that many times on his first game back. I get it. But I thought that and those long sustaining drives were so important for keeping Derrick Henry off the field. One person that people are not talking about was Justice Hill, who's their best pass protector, who went on IR with a neck injury. Now, you got to think Keaton Mitchell isn't their pass protector. Ali, that's why we saw Ali later on. Derrick Henry is not good in pass pro either. But as you saw later in the game, you could throw him a little pass. Maybe he gets out in space. Once he gets it going, he's a dangerous guy. But for an offense, it's a tough. I don't think Ravens fans, because they don't know ball, I don't think they understand that dynamic of you can't go on third down when a pass rush is getting home like we were and expecting a guy like Derrick Henry, who's tall in stature, that has a problem getting, like squaring up with guys that have been coming around. So it's a tough ask for a running back. That's why some of the best running backs in football to me are all around all-purpose backs that are able to pass protect too. My argument always against what's his name, Nick Chubb, is like they never played him on third down. He was just a runner and he never caught passes. And Derrick Henry is the same way. He's just a runner. It's the reason why he was signed at the price point he was at. But I thought that the Bengals did a really good job of keeping Derrick Henry off the field. So you might say, Dag, like, how Derrick Henry only have 5 carries? I feel like that was strategically the plan of the Bengals. And you see that a lot of times what teams are doing to Baltimore when they get to the playoffs. And I thought they took a lot of that. People asked me, they said, is this the worst game that Lamar's ever played? I would have to go back to that 2021 game when we smacked them up crazy in that game too. In the same game, remember, that's the week right before the Dolphins went with the 0-look blitzes. That was our old DC doing that showed that to them at that point, because it wasn't Lou at that point, was it? Lou was there.
It was Lou. It was Lou. Yeah.
So Lou came out there and gave them that. And then the following week, remember the Dolphins and then the Browns did it too. And then everybody was like, okay, yeah, that's how you could beat Lamar or whatever. So we put belt to his ass on that game too. Then also there are other games that you could go to with Flores. You could go to what's his name, Spags with the Chiefs, who always puts belt. Lamar has a 1-6 record against the Chiefs. So like he's always put belt to him. So I thought it showed, and this is if you're a real football savant. I'm not jumping the gun on this. If he is in a predicament where he's not going to be 100% and he can't run to the level that we know that he can run, it gave you a glimpse into what is to come as Lamar gets closer to 30 years old and he's in a situation where he's forced to pass. I thought the difference is Joe Burrow could be forced to pass, fresh off the couch. He's processing like you wouldn't believe. The thing that Joe Burrow never gets credit for on these TV shows is the processing. They always want to talk about like, oh my God, how did Josh Allen get out of that? How did Pat Mahomes get out of that? Oh my God, we got another highlight for everybody. Everybody retweet this, put it out there. But the processing isn't something that people talk about, and the processing is what made everything work. And it gets you in plays, it gets you out of plays. It's a chess match. I'm not saying that Joe Flacco was doing a really good job of that, but then you saw Joe Flacco. Now he didn't have the skill that Joe Burrow had. So I thought last night you got a chance to see the processing. The I've been in this league 6 years now, and then you seen the skill level, and you saw the mobility and all those different things. And then when your team sees it, for the people that wanted to tank, no problem with you. I got no problem with you. I think you want to win too. So fan how you want to fan. But the people that suggested, what would Joe Burrow do for this defense? It's your leader, bro. If your leader isn't there, it's going to look different. I'm not saying that he's magically going to make the defense start hitting people, but the defense now has to look at this dude and say, damn, bro really bust his ass like that to get back out on the field? Bro really out here like that? Bro could have been eating. I seen a Lamar presser. He's talking about, yeah, I wish I was at home. I wish I was with my family eating turkey. Joe was damn near in tears. Yeah, he said that. Yeah. Coddle quarterback. If y'all ain't going to say, see, they're not going to tell you that on ESPN. Clip that for Cincinnati. They're not going to tell you that on ESPN. They asked bro at a presser, does he want to play in this game? And he said, nah, I wish I was at home with my family. He gets paid $260 million. Joe Burrow, after the game, was damn near in tears at the thing while his boys was carving up turkey, saying, man, it feels good to be back out here. So if you were somebody that wanted to tank, no problem with you. But if you are a person that's saying, what do we get from Joe Burrow? That's your leader. That's your man. He's coming out there. He's coming out there carving up birds for you. Whether we win another game or not, which I think we'll win some, but whether we win another game or not, bro, that's 9, bro. Like 9 is really like, it's bigger than football to a certain extent. It's like a mentality that you were just telling me before the show. It's a mentality like, bro, as long as I got a chance, as long as I'm healthy, as long as I can figure it out, as long as I can do it, I'm going to go up. And that's how you got to go. That's what life is to me. And that's what it is to be a Bengals fan. If you don't fall in love with the concept of you're going to be an underdog, they say, Zim, why are you always acting like a victim? Because I really am. Y'all don't talk about us like that. Y'all treat us differently than all the other teams. And then when 9 does something admirable like that, I don't even see enough love. Somebody just showed, like, yeah, the flight and everything. Y'all don't think that the Steelers, Cowboys, Ravens, they would have been talking about that flight and all that, the delays and all that stuff? They don't treat the Bengals the same, bro. Y'all got to chase the money. The Bengals are last on Forbes in terms of money-making teams in the National Football League. So the money is not behind them. So all of these narratives and all these different things that y'all read and whatever, they don't treat us the same. It takes a very special person to be a Bengal fan. You got to fall in love with the idea that you are going to be an underdog and they're not going to talk about you like that. We was just in a space. They talked about the Bengals joint, then they try to crack jokes about other stuff and then go on to other teams. Had the Ravens won that game, the whole thing would have been flooded with purple people talking Raven, 2 for 5 hours straight. But because we Bengals, we got to be humble, Midwest, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? We got to, oh, yeah, man, just so happy to be out here. And I'm the one guy that's just like, nah, I think y'all suck. Your teams are trash. Y'all delusional, and I don't like you. You're not a dynasty. You ain't the Patriots. You're not like that. You got packed up at your own stadium, just like you do on all your home games, and you walk home sad with super teams, just like Ryan Tannehill did you in 2019. You're a bum for real. Like, that's what I really wanted to say. But, you know, then they'd be like, Sam, you talking to me. All right, so I just had to get that out. I had to get that out of my chest. Yeah. But 9 is different, bro. He was out there.
Bro, that's why when there were people coming at me in the comment. They were like, Ace, why would you throw him in there? Joe Flacco is doing fine, this and that. Joe Flacco is not Joe Burrow, bro. Like, we got to remember how special number 9 is. I mean, he's been a franchise-changing quarterback to come through here. He is, like, my energy with Joe Burrow will never change. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, and I'm going to continue to say that. There's always people that try to discount some of the things that he has, like, oh, he's got Jamar Chase and he's got T. Higgins. I've always said that Joe Burrow has not had things that a lot of these guys like the Pat Mahomes and the Josh Allens and these guys have. You know, he doesn't have the level of coaching of them. He doesn't have the front office organization that they have. He doesn't have the defenses that they've had. He doesn't have a Spags as his defensive coordinator. He doesn't have a guy that stopped Tom Brady in Super Bowl. Like, he's never had that. So, like, when I hear all of these people talking about, oh, well, he's got T. Higgins and he's got Jamar, so of course he's amazing. I go back to 2020 and I talk about he didn't have a Jamar Chase then. He cooked up with an A.J. Green, a young T. Higgins, a Auden Tate, a Giovanni Bernard, a C.J. Uzama, and was doing his thing. Almost really would have been on track to throw for 4,000 yards and was in every game. This was a Bengals team that had been picking number 1 the year prior. I told everybody on the AFC North talk, they tried to tell me Big Ben was better than this kid. I said, did you watch him play? Did you watch what he did in all of those games and what the factor of him really is? When you saw him the second year, what did he do? In 1.5 seasons, he took you to a bowl. He took you to a bowl. Like, he went like crazy. That. So when you bring a player the caliber of Joe Burrow back, it's going to be a big difference being made. And I heard a lot of people talking about Joe Flacco is cooking with these weapons. Shout out to Joe Flacco. I love him for what he did. You know what he didn't do? He didn't get dubs. He didn't get dubs like Joe Burrow. And when you had Joe Burrow there, that's why we're talking about him being 8-0 in his last 8 games. Joe Burrow is going to go and get those dubs, and he's special in what he does and what he brings. At the end of the game, when you put the ball in 9 hands, you know that he's coming through with the victory every time. That's why some people are saying you guys are delusional to think. Bengals fans were saying it. You're delusional to think that.
Bro, they told us that 2 shows ago. They told us that 2 shows ago.
And all of that. I'm like, I got Joe Burrow. I'm going to always have a chance when I have Joe Burrow because he is a special type of person. He's a special dude that could come back and do these kind of things. He knows what he's doing, man. He's a special guy. This is why, to me, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. This is why he's accomplished so much. This is why
he is the best. Right. He's the best.
Yeah, he's the
best, bro.
Best.
I'm gonna tell you, he's the best, bro. The show earlier, what was that? About 4 or 5 episodes ago now, I think, where I was saying I want Flacco to play. And now this is before, we only had like 4 or 5 L's or something. It wasn't because I didn't believe in Burrow. It was because I wanted Flacco to be able to keep on going with the momentum that he had, but then he didn't win any of those games, and then we're in a do or die situation, and then you hear Joe Burrow then say, look, bro, like, I gotta play. And then at that point, it's like, okay, shut up, Zim. Your leader, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us really, I'm not gonna say take Joe Burrow for granted, but I don't think they understand how you just illustrated how fast he changed around a whole entire team. And it's just crazy when you think about it, because in the AFC in like the last 10 years, how many quarterbacks have even gone to a Super Bowl? It's only 3. It's Mahomes, Brady, and Burrow. And people just, you know what I'm saying, like act like that's not a real thing. And what they do is try to get you in these conversations where you can't even bring up the fact that Joe Burrow won a conference in his first full season in the NFL. They'd be like, y'all talking about second place? I done watch all these bums brag about stuff they did 15, 20 years ago. I done watch them brag about stuff that they did to Bengals teams in 2019. You damn right I'm going to talk about how we won an AFC conference. Like, I'm not – yeah, we lost the Super Bowl, but like, yeah, bro, and I went right back. And in 2022, and this is what we was talking about before the show started, 2022, I watched Zach Taylor and company I thought 2022 was the best team in football. Like, it was when they went on that 10-game win streak, they were unstoppable. And I'm gonna tell you, at the end of 2024, just now, they looked up. The defense wasn't as good.
That was so 2024 was the best the offense has ever looked. Like
the offense, but the 2022 overall team, though, I thought was like. It was to me, I thought that they would have beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I think the biggest thing that people don't remember is how close, and this is how they treat Bengals fans. Ravens fans tell you about games that they lost that nobody remembers in the playoffs from like wild card games. The Bengals had the ball in the AFC Championship game with 50 seconds left and were driving with trumped up calls, fifth downs, dumb calls not going your way, still completed the dart to Hurst and everything like that. And it took that penalty of Osai pushing dude out of bounds to even get them in field goal range so that they can even attempt a field goal as time was clicking out. If you go look up that game, go look at what Mahomes did in the second half of that game. And that wasn't that long ago. And our fans do this injustice by thinking it makes you honorable to be like, man, I'm so tired of talking about what we did for everybody else talks about what they did 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Bro, the Bengals were very close to that spot. And the reason I'm bringing that up, they were dominant, and I've seen them be dominant. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that was in 2023. That was January of 2023. So now in 2024, he's out there. They don't go to playoffs. I get it. That's the 1 year Burrow that means. Now in 2025, now that he's back, all of these things have just escaped our memory bank because so much BS is getting spewed out about the Bengals on a daily, and they treat us like we're less than, and they treat Burrow like he's nothing. Because of this one season that he played where he led the whole entire National Football League in passing yards, touchdowns, and completions, and a passing title. And the defense sold on him, and he didn't have, and we didn't get to the playoffs. No excuses. Burrow and company didn't make it. But we aren't far removed from that for people to not act like that's not very impactful. These people are telling you about stuff that they did decades ago. And they teach Bengals fans not to reference stuff that just happened, which I think is one of the biggest, it's the most ludicrous things that's going on the internet right now. Mm-hmm. And they try to make Bengals fans feel like, well, I'm doing the admirable thing by saying, no, that was then, this is now. Like, yeah, but at the same time, bro, it's a part of like how you identify what are we about to do right here versus me. What am I about to reference something that Ben Roethlisberger did 15 years ago as a justification for Sunday coming up? Like, what have they done to make me feel like they know how to go win?
I don't want to be the Steelers, man. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game. They had the longest
in a decade
within the AFC North.
Well, it was like 8 years or something.
But the one thing that I will say is I remember a few weeks ago, because people were talking about it's delusional thinking that the Bengals can still win this thing. They
tried to cook us on here. Yeah,
they're now 2 games out of the playoffs. You know what I say? I said 9-8 is going to win this division. And somebody was like, oh, no, bro. There's no way. There's no way that this division is not good this year. That's the thing. The conference is not good either. I don't care. Like, I know, like, Broncos fans and Patriots fans, they're pumping their chests out and all of that. The AFC is bad this year, and I'm just being
honest.
Patriots
don't want us. Patriots do not want to get into the playoff matchup with Joe Burrow.
It's wide open this year. The AFC North division is wide open this year. It is not over yet. And if you let Joe Burrow sneak into the playoffs, you do not. I'm just going to tell you right now, that is the last thing that any of these teams want. You can pump your chest out and talk about the Patriots and how, oh, yeah, we beat y'all. Y'all beat us with Joe Flacco by 6 points, my brother. Yes, you don't want to see 9. You don't want to see 9. None of you teams right now, you're going to be doing the same stuff that the Chiefs tried to do last year, which is, oh, we're going to sit our people so that the Bengals don't make the playoff. Yeah, you don't want to see this Bengals team. This was 9 last night, cooking without T. Higgins. You tell me every day on this app, he has T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Guess what? He didn't have T. Higgins last night. He's coming off of an injury. He
Where
gave
the
you
people
200. At? He gave you 2 touchdowns. He gave you 1 sack. Everybody, Joe's going to hold on to the ball and do too much, and he's going to make the offensive line worse. How did the offensive line look last night? Looked pretty damn good to me, and he probably should have put up 40 last night.
Easily. If it weren't for the red zone discrepancies early in that game, bro, they put up 45 on them. And I'm going to tell you, a lot like 2022, I'm going to reference it. That team was like that. They get out on a lead on guys, and they get a lead on you, And then in the fourth quarter, we run the football on you graciously and get you up out of there and pack you up and make you walk home. That's the Bengals. We don't need Josh Allen highlights to signal that we're like that for real. You talking about the division at 9-8. Y'all mean to tell me, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the Ravens on that 4-game streak that they just went on play bums. There is no way in hell that team that I just watched last night is going to beat all of these teams. They play the Steelers twice. They play the Bengals again. Even if you think that they could beat the Bengals and you just like, oh, Bengals got lucky. That will knock the Bengals out the playoff picture. Cool. No quarrel with that. But I'm going to tell you this. Ain't no way in hell they beating the Packers, the Patriots, and the Steelers twice. Them boys getting 8. So they're 9-8. I've been saying that forever too. And then you go look at the Steelers. They got the Bills coming up right now too. That is a must win for them. If they don't win that game, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Bengals got this, bro. If they don't win that game, all the Bengals gotta do is win out, bro.
The Bills just ruled out Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. So yeah, they don't have any excuse to lose that game. Like you said, it's a must win for them. You talk about the Ravens.
Bro said somebody say y'all not beat Buffalo. When has Buffalo ever beat Joe Burrow?
Okay.
When has Buffalo ever beat Joe Burrow?
Right.
I'm just asking a question.
A lot of stuff that y'all been telling us has not come to fruition. And a lot of stuff. I'm not scared of Buffalo, bro. I'm not scared of anybody with Joe Burrow. That's the last person that you could have given me back. I am not scared about anybody when I have Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna tell you this: DJ Turner going to lock on to whoever is it. Shakir, I can't even keep up with them dudes. Whatever. I'm supposed to be scared of like Shavers and all these other dudes that like.
Okay.
I don't like. Listen, I'm telling you right now, and dog DJ Turner. I'm gonna go right back to that because you're big on cornerback play.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Turner and hold on. Let me talk about the offensive line real quick. The offensive line sign up Riser right now. I know that they don't want to do no in-season deals with her. Sign that guy right now.
Right now.
He's a Bengal.
Best Bengals offensive line in the Joe Burrow era. Easily.
I'm gonna tell you something that will cook this all season, and it will turn us into a juggernaut. And you're gonna hear it first from Zim Uday. If the Bengals sign Reisner and they come back, and I'm gonna tell you a move that's so crazy because I feel like Baltimore gonna be in shambles a little bit. I don't think they're gonna have money to pay Tyler Linderbaum. If they figured out a way to get Linderbaum on this team with Reisner on his right and Fairchild on the left, and Big Mims is over. It's over. It's over. And y'all and everybody could talk about the defense. I don't care. I'm dropping 50. I'm dropping 50 every time, and I'm gonna meet you at the 50. I'm dropping 50. I'm dropping 50. If you give me, bro, I'm telling you, they don't have the money. They were trying to figure out how to play Likely, Travis Jones, all these dudes. So they draft really well. Kudos to you. Now you got to go pay him. And Linderbaum is the person that they send as the odd man out. If he walks out of that door, Tobin, I will punch you in your damn nose if you don't sign that guy Linderbaum on that. You know that was one of my draft pressures that I
know that's your boy.
So Linderbaum paired up with that. I'm trying to tell you, the run game, oh my God. Oh my God, bro! Like, we'll go crazy. But it then, can I say another thing? Dax Hill last night. He had a couple belts on them boys. Remember last week he was in the right spot, got called PI and stuff like that. I think the groundwork for our secondary is there, bro. We got DJ Turner. I still think they should. If Caleb Downs or somebody like that, if there was something like that anywhere there. That would be a guy like if we were to lose a bunch of games. But Geno Stone can be used. He can be used if you use him correctly. If you put him in bad situations, you won't. And I'm not bad on Battle. I think Battle needs to make plays. He makes plays, but he doesn't wrap up. And then you talk about the young linebackers. I will add another linebacker, another one to solidify that. And you still got Burks as a special teamer. I don't think that the defense is bad at all at that point. And then, and I know I'm looking ahead a little bit, but that's how close it is to being like a pretty good team to me, like defensive and offense. And we're going to say it again. Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins did not play in this game. And I just want so anybody saying see you in 2 weeks, bro. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Yeah, you're gonna see T.
I'll
Higgins
see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you too. T. Higgins. I'm gonna tell you right now, T. Higgins is not Tinsley. I'll tell you that right now.
In the jungle.
Yeah, in the jungle. I'm gonna tell you right now, T. Higgins is not Tinsley. We are not dropping none of them. T. Higgins is that guy. And Jamar, that cool 110 he gave you last night, he'll put another belt on your ass if you try to go and double on T. And then I don't know what the extent of Wiggins' injury is or whatever. Prayers up to him. Hope he has a safe recovery. But if he don't come back, you are in trouble. I'm telling you right now, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Trouble. Somebody said talk about Mims. He's really special. MB34012. Yes, he is. Mims is special. He's been doing his thing. Offensive line. I don't want to just single out Mims. A lot of people had smoke for Orlando Brown Jr. Looked pretty good last night, fam. I don't like this line that they have right now is doing their thing. Trizzy says his parlay hit. Shout out to you. Bless up. More glory. Black man. Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, Trizzy.
Yeah, man. Other than that, was there anything else that we didn't cover? I know we've been getting hype. I know it's the holidays.
Burton.
Burton. Mitchell Tinsley, man.
Burton.
Only thing from Mitchell Tinsley is don't give up on routes with Burrow, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, that was a dot.
Another TD. That was a dot.
I will put. If somebody come up with a bet in the chat right now. If you are a Burton hater, come to me with a bet right now. If Burton get put in them same situations that Tinsley got in, I promise you it's 6. Multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple. Burton walk out of that same game. I don't care if he know the playbook, whatever. Bro is running go routes, bro. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. 2 years later, you think bro don't know how to run a go route? Bro is running goes. He's not even doing anything crazy. Anything that was like, all right, those things, give Burton 7 targets. Watch how I look. I promise you, I'll bet you whatever I bet you whatever you want. Give Burton 7 targets. I bet you he walk out that game with a tud and over 75 yards minimum. Give him 7 targets. I promise you.
Right. Facts. Nah, man. Before we get up out of here, I'm just gonna toss it to our good folks over at Midwest Best Barbecue.
Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. What's them hot honey lemon peppers? Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. And much love to Mama T, Uno and CTB. MB's got Bengals wings, and now we just added T's. 9 to 5 winning things. Gritty for Uno wings. We say yes, Sirski now. Like Aces and be saying that T got them new wings. Only at MB's. Honey lemon peppers. Now you can call them T's. Honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins. Or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins. Or you say number 5.
That was nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out Midwest Best Barbecue, 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Hope that you were able to cater with them for Thanksgiving. They had some amazing spreads down there, so make sure that you check them out. 669 Justice Court, Loveland, Ohio. Once again, yeah, that was crazy. But definitely let Tim and Nicole know that Ace and Zim sent you. Got another super chat here from Bengals fan 1996. Appreciate you, bro. $50. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Who Day. Shout out.
Happy Thanksgiving, you, bro. You want to come on the show, bro? Anybody send 50 on you can come on. Matter of fact, I got a seat for you right here. We can get you on the show. You know what somebody did post to me that we should do? What do you think about? I'm gonna ask you live. I'm gonna put them on the spot for you guys. If we had a Bengals fan hotline and we allowed people to call in, we had the opportunity.
We could do. The only thing is when you have that, there's some weird people out here, Zim. Like
I got somebody screening the call. We're gonna screen
you
it.
gotta screen the call because if they say something live and
Right,
it get us monetized or clipped, that's the only thing. So like we gotta make sure that we screen them some type of way. Or if we do that, it could be a situation where
I'm gonna let Jerry.
I don't know if we could do it live, but we might be able to do the joint so that we just save ourselves from that thing. Some weird people out here, bro. I done did that before.
Lil Uzi Houday, he called in. Hey, bro, I'm raising a demon over here, bro. We big Bengals fans over here, bro. He this call is funny as I don't know what, but he called one of them joints though. It was crazy. He called him, but man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Like, me and Ace have a lot of conversations. Some of them get on the show, and some of them don't. I love it all, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like perspective is everything, you know what I mean? And it's like no wrong, there's no right. You know, I want to win a Super Bowl, and I think that, you know, the Bengals can. I know that this year is looking really, really rough, but we got some real good conversations, I think, on the way, because now that Burrow's back, the one thing that I will say is I thought that we were able to evaluate a lot of people throughout this season. I think no matter how this ends, I think we can now go to the next part and say, okay, I like him, I don't like him. And I think it's clear too. I think it's very clear. Like a guy like Battle, Osai, and Dax Hill are maybe not as clear. I think now even Murphy has made himself clear. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, I get it. Everybody, man, this team sucks. And once you get past that part, which I do get angry, I was angry first half yesterday. Once you get past that, you start to break down some of the conversations and then say, okay, well, why do I hate Zach Taylor? Okay, who can I get? Okay, what is the other person that I can replace? You know what I mean? So you start to have these conversations, and I think that to me, that's why I like doing this. I like talking amongst all of you all, even if it's just in the chat or even if it's just with Ace, we get a chance to like talk some of these things out, because the way I'm thinking about it be like very different than a lot of, you know, other people. And I think a lot of times people give me really good perspective on like, nah, bro, like you tripping with the Burton thing. Like what I think then I got all that information, and then I'm like, nah, F that. Burton's the guy, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's fun though. I really enjoy it. Yesterday was so good. I think the fan base needed it. I mean, I get it. Draft positioner. But Burrow, bro, I'm going to tell you, bro, like I'm not interested in being like some bum team that wins like 3-4 games in a season and then being saying, yeah, guys, I got top. I just don't.
It's also a cop-out, bro, because you can still have
it doesn't solve any problems.
Still win games. And you can still trade up in the draft. So, like, you don't have to have a top 5 pick for them to trade up to the top 5 or the top 10. They could always. So, for me, like, we don't need to tank for that. Like, the expectation should be, if it is a guy that the Bengals need to go up and get, put the pressure on the front office to go up and get him.
You know, what I was going to say, you know, another thing too is it doesn't solve any problems.
Yeah,
by just giving them a top 5. Because what is a Tobin hater like me always say? It's like, the only time that he cooks is if he got Jamar Chase in the top 5 or Joe Burrow. That's an easy layup. So now you're like, give him another layup, but it doesn't solve the actual problem of they don't draft people.
The reason that's a tough one, bro, is because the Bengals issue before Jamar got there was they didn't have a deep ball. So the people that are, I'm a top 5 pick, I'm gonna get another Jamar Chase. Technically, Jamar Chase did solve the problem, and he did take them to the Super Bowl. But you can't use that thought process every time. The team is much better now. You know, like your chances of getting a player like Jamar Chase is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Your chances of landing Jamar Chase, even if you have a type 5 pick, is still not great. Like, it might be a good player, but it's not going to guarantee that you're going to catch lightning in a bottle that many times. But yeah, that's why they say that, because Jamar Chase was that good that he propelled the Bengals into a team that was a Super Bowl contender, having him and Joe Burrow. But think about what it took to get that. Like, Joe Burrow had to have his knee shredded. We had to luck out and get Jamar Chase. There's no chance of that, really. You can't tank with Joe Burrow. Like, it's just not going to happen.
I just think like me watching him and knowing, like, you know, shout out to you know, Coach Burrow and shout out, you know, Jamie. Shout out to the fam, like all of the, you know.
Oh, you talking about Burrow's dad? My bad.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, but shout out to all of the Burrow family that's always showed me lots of love. Like I said, shout out to my guy Jamie and everybody. But the one thing that I learned, you know, through the years is like that top 5 in that tanking is not. They're not about that. Like anybody talking like that, like, or like trying to push him to do that type of stuff, they're not with that, bro. Like when he has injuries and stuff like that, they're like thinking like, yeah, bro, like when he rehabs and he get right back, like we're getting right back to it. They're not thinking, oh, let's protect him. And remember, it was Burrow that wanted Chase in that sewer. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on with him, but I just think as long as that front office listens to Burrow gonna get us the guys. He gonna get us the players. People gonna want to come over and help him out, come play on the same team with him. I think that will be okay. But along the way, we got to figure out, like, what's up with this head coach? Like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with like, I don't see them parting ways with Tobin. It's just, you know, that's a big game, but it doesn't solve everything. And I got to be realistic about that as well, too. I do think I think the matchup for the Bills game that we're going to get into later this week, I'm sure, or coming up next week, I'm sorry. I mean, the way this offensive line is playing, like, am I supposed to be scared of like Greg Rousseau or something like that, or like a Wash Bosa? Like, I'm not even being funny. Like, I just don't see, like, where's the pressure? Where's the pressure? And then if I get Trey Hendrickson and I'm putting them out there with it, and then they got their secondary with those injuries, you think they got something? They got something for Jamar Chase and company? You think Matt Milano want to chase Jamar Chase on an end breaker across, on a drag across the field? I'm telling y'all, like,
I'm not scared of anybody with Joe Burrow as my quarterback, bro.
Did you see that Cowboys game too? 2 number ones. When you got them, when you got 2 number ones, it changes a lot. And a lot of people. Yes,
and Chase Brown. And Chase Brown.
And that's another thing I was gonna say with the Cowboys. If Javonte Williams had the skill set of Chase Brown, that would be a scary offense because Ferguson is like that. Like their tight end
is definitely like that for
sure. He's had a mid kind of year, but he's still like that to me. But when you're doing that, it just changes everything about everything, and it makes it so much easier. And it's not about proving a point because Joe Burrow proved to everybody last night, bro. I throw a dot to Tanner Hudson, I throw a dot to Yoshi, I throw it to Gesicki. Who you want to get the rock? You know what I'm saying? He's a true point guard. Like he gonna get whoever want to go and get the rock and get your shot off. Joe gonna find you. So I know it was a couple purple people in here crashing out like, see you in 2 weeks. Hey, look, let me tell you something, bum. You looking at 9. He's back. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not. It's not clocking to you. You let them 19-17 victories. Like you let them joints get to your head where Burrow took the lead with a minute and some change left. Like you let Burrow putting 9 touchdowns and 1,000 yards on your head last year. It's not clocking to you yet. I don't know why. You watch my boy in an AFC Championship game do what your quarterback has never done, and he been in the league 2 years less. It's not clocking to you yet. And then when your boy turned 30 and he can no longer run and stuff, I still don't think it's going to clock to you. You're still sitting there thinking like, wow, where did we go wrong? EDC messed up the whole thing. Nah, he just wasn't like that. It's 9. It's Nueve. Till the world is over. Ain't nothing going to stop that. All you could do is go online and talk about, oh, what if he gets injured again? He'll get injured. No. That's what you're leaning on because you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. Yeah. Let's go! Let's go!
Coming up on the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.